All right, guys. Dadalorian here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Back with book review, and this one is of the High Republic. This is Midnight Horizon by Daniel Jose Older. Finally got through it, and I'm so glad that I did because the book is amazing. Um, Anything that gives you a perspective of something else, like a catastrophic event that's happening, in the world or in the galaxy. And it's like it's taking place at the same time, but gives you like that story, but from a different perspective. Like, hey, that event is happening here, but this is what's going over here as that thing is happening. Is really cool. I enjoy that. Now, maybe I lost you guys there for a second, but basically, so if you read, Gosh, the Fallen Star, then exactly kind of what happened. You know exactly what I mean. Where we had the destruction of Starlight Beacon, and then you see in this book Midnight Horizon where you see like other Jedi, other characters that are seeing like, oh, that's what's happening there, but they're also dealing with their own things, on Corellia, and kind of dealing with the Nile and everything that is happening in their situation, but they're also reacting and seeing what's happening over there on Starlight Beacon, the destruction there, and kind of feeling the mourning loss of people who are close to them. It's a really interesting book, and I really love it. There's so much to talk about. I'm not going to go through every single thing, but I will say this: if you are somebody that's been reading High Republic or thinking about getting into it because you've seen pictures and you're like, hey, there's a younger Yoda, this looks really interesting. In this book, let me tell you, you do get moments with Yoda, and gosh, it's not just for the sake of fan service and like, here's Yoda, we're just going to use him when we want. It doesn't feel like that. It's more like Yoda is there for a purpose, you know what I mean? And when he shows up, it's you feel the impact. You know what I mean? It's purposeful. Like a perfect example. There's a Jedi called Cantum, Jedi Cantum Sai, right? And this Jedi is kind of trying to figure out, do they still want to be a Jedi? What is their place? They kind of feel a little bit lost. And you see their fighting skills are definitely on par. They're up there. They've been training since they were very young. And so Jedi, Cantum, they end up, dueling with Master Yoda, sparring, and as they've always kind of trained, in the Jedi Temple before. And it's such a cool scene because it's like you see in that moment, it's kind of like how they kind of communicate, working through things. And it was just such an impactful scene. Like you really got to read it to kind of get what I'm talking about. When Jedi Cantum Sai, when they return, you see they return as a Jedi Knight. So it's kind of like they needed to work through these issues and kind of spar with Master Yoda and leave, things behind to really see why they needed to return. It was just a really cool, metaphoric thing and I loved it. And then also, like closer towards the end, Master Yoda ends up. There's a big battle, of course. Star Wars. There's going to be a big battle towards the end. So there's the battle that's taking place on Corellia. And pretty much like out of the smoke, out of the ashes, Yoda, pops up, and it's just really dope how he, helps out, the remaining Jedi fighting against, the Nile and whatnot. So Yoda is there with purpose. He is there, but you do get him. That's one thing that I really, really did enjoy about this book. And also, I find myself when I'm reading the High Republic, I have to have my phone right next to me. Sometimes I usually listen like audiobook. For Midnight Horizon, I was reading, obviously, the physical copy. But I have to have my phone right next to me because I'm like, okay, what is this alien species? Who is that? Who is this character? What do they look like? To kind of put a name to a face. But it's really fun to be there in Star Wars. And I don't have all the answers. And it's kind of fun to be there and like, whoa, okay, what does this person look like? Perfect example is, what is it? Goad? I think it's Goad. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce the alien's name. If I'm saying it wrong, you guys could correct me in the comments. But, when I was reading the book, this was in the previous High Republic book, but it was like, he's like pretty much just a rock. And I was like, what, a rock? And I looked it up to kind of get a description, and I'm like, wow, I never knew that there were rock people in Star Wars, but there are, and it's just really fun, man, to be there in Star Wars and just like all these different, the diversity is amazing. You know what I mean? Like with the alien race, alien species, it's really cool. But also, if you're somebody like me or younger and you're reading these books and you look at the covers and you're reading comics, you can see like, dang, there's melanin. You know what I mean? There's characters that look like me. You know what I mean? And that's huge, especially like, for kids also, reading these stories today. I think it's important that you can see characters that look like you and, kind of help you further identify and say, man, that's really cool. It helps you to kind of feel a little more immersed into, this journey and what's happening. You know what I mean? So I love the diversity. I love seeing things from a different point of view. You know what I mean? Like I talked about, what's happening in Starlight Beacon. We know the destruction with that. But you also see how that event, plus other things, are impacting the characters that you have within this book. And it brings it all full circle. You know what I mean? Like it's all same universe, all same time, but you see how these events and these characters and the presence of the Nile, how it's all affecting everyone, but in different ways. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed the book, man, and it's crazy to think that now I think we're getting a little bit of a hiatus from the High Republic until the fall, right? Like that's when the next comic books come out, graphic novels and whatnot. So I'm enjoying the High Republic, man. It's been a ride, and I've been enjoying every read that I've had. This is the technically third book of Daniel Jose Older that I read, because I read he did a chapter in Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view, and then I also read Last Shot that he did, the Han Solo and Lando novel, which was amazing. If you haven't read that, go and check that out. And then, finally, read this one. I know Daniel's got other books out there as well. Some of the other like junior novels that are out there. I have not gotten to those yet, but I've heard good things. And, it's like, hey, you read what you can, read when you can. But if you can't read it all, man, there's a lot of good stuff out there, and there's something for everyone. And I think the diversity, not just with the characters alone, but also with connecting, with different levels of fans is one thing that they've done really great with the High Republic. It doesn't matter like what, reading level you're at, what age you're at, there's literally something for everyone. And I think that that's so cool for this experience in particular, So anyway, I just had to talk about it. I was like, it's been a while. I know I even have mutuals that have done elaborate reviews talking about the High Republic Midnight Horizon. I'm so late to the game. But, I wanted to give my 2 cents and just share, like, man, the High Republic is amazing. And I'm really looking forward to, I feel like everything that's coming next, I feel like should lead to this. You know what I mean? Like, if we're going to get another trilogy of films, like if they're going to go that route again, I feel like this is the place to do it, because man, everything that's happening here, the characters that you have, the stakes, the villains, the characters, like I really want to spend time there. I really want to see that adapted into live action. It would almost feel lazy if they didn't. You know what I mean? And I know there's other routes that they could also take, like you got Old Republic, but why not do both? I even talked about this in a recent stream where I was like, you could do a thing of, how they did Star Wars, the Solo movie, right? Solo, a Star Wars story. You had, what was the other film? Rogue One. You had Rogue One, and that was a Star Wars story. And then you had the sequel trilogy, right? Like these were all fairly, around the same time as far as like when they were happening and coming out. You could do the same thing with the Old Republic and High Republic. Like Old Republic could be a thing of where maybe they're even animated films. How DC does their animated movies? Dude, I would kill for that for Star Wars. But imagine Old Republic. And it's a Star Wars story, but they could be animated. It could be live action. Doesn't matter. I'm going to eat it up. You know what I mean? And then your new trilogy is going to be High Republic. Dude, I would kill for that. So anyway, reading these books gets me really excited. And it's great just to be somewhere outside of the norm and what we've known thus far in the characters that, you know, we're so familiar with. So I'm very grateful for the High Republic. Can't wait for more books. If you like this video and if you've read the book, let me know what's your favorite part of this book. There's so much, like there's so many other characters I haven't even talked about in other moments. But if you read the book, comment below and let me know what was your favorite moment within this book. I would love to hear from you guys. And what's your favorite book as far as like, or comics that you've been reading in the High Republic? Comment below and let me know. And I will see you guys for the next video. Peace.